Creativity is a major driver of both individual and organizational success. The International Center for Studies in Creativity at Buffalo State, State University of New York, and Dale Carnegie Training have partnered to create a new certificate in creative leadership. This video will give you valuable insights into the importance of creativity. The Certificate in Creative Leadership is designed to equip individuals with the knowledge and skills needed in today's competitive marketplace. Improved creativity will help you see opportunities quicker and more clearly, find effective solutions to challenging problems, and turn weaknesses into strengths. We hope you will enjoy Dr. Gerard Puccio as he shares his expertise and insight on creativity. In this video, Dr. Puccio explains why creative thinking is a crucial skill for success in the 21st century.
Several years ago, the faculty of the International Center for Studies in Creativity adopted a new vision: to ignite creativity around the world, facilitating the recognition that creative thinking is an essential life skill. Little did we realize when we adopted that vision how important the issue of promoting creative thinking at a national and international level would become. Indeed, I would argue that in the course of human history, there has never been a time in which creative thinking was more necessary for personal and professional success. In this video, we will explore some of the societal, business, and educational trends that highlight the importance of creative thinking in the 21st century. The first trend, and the overarching quality of life in the 21st century, is the exponential increase in the pace of change. I'm sure you've heard and read that the pace of change has increased exponentially. What does this mean exactly? As human beings, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to keep up with the pace of change that is generated through human creativity. Let's look at some data that supports this. In Jane Henry's book on creativity and perception in management, she reports that there were less than 10 technical and social inventions between 1 AD and 1800 AD. Contrast that to the last 200 years, during which time we have seen the creation of more than 25 life-altering, technological, and social inventions. Inventions that have had a life-altering effect on the nature and quality of our lives, such as computers, antibiotics, airplanes, internet, genetic engineering, organ transplants, automobiles, lasers, telecommunication, and so forth. Consider this. If you had been born more than 2,000 years ago, it would have been possible to live your entire life without being impacted by a single life-altering invention. When you live in the 21st century, a time fraught with change, that's pretty hard to imagine. Or if you can't imagine this, you might find yourself feeling a bit of envy for the good old days when life was more predictable. The next trend I wish to explore is a more specific example of the overarching pace of change we just discussed, and that is shorter product life cycles. There was a time when you could enter the workforce and literally spend your entire career working on the same product. Around the beginning of the 20th century, Wrigley Gum produced 3 flavors of gum. Some 20 years later, they still produced the same 3 flavors of gum. Have you looked lately at the gum rack in your grocery store? The number of choices is dizzying. As before, let's look at some data. Today, manufactured products go through fundamental redesign every 5 to 10 years. As you are no doubt aware, if you've purchased a computer, television, or mobile phone recently, the pace of change in the technology sector is even faster, with fundamental redesign occurring every 6 to 12 months. The third trend I wish to discuss is the erosion of a permanent or stable work life. Like working on the same product, in yesteryears it was much more common to spend one's entire career with the same employer. This is no longer the case. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, students in school today can expect to change jobs more than 11 times between the age of 18 and 42. We will stay with the workplace for our next trend, as the nature of the workplace itself has changed. Indeed, today's work is much more geared toward the use of imagination and creativity. According to economist Richard Florida, in 1900, less than 10% of the U.S. population was employed in creative work. Today, more than 30% of the U.S. population find themselves in jobs that are classified as creative work. Of course, the nature of work ties into another trend, that is the very age we live in. We've gone from an agrarian age to an industrial age, to the knowledge age, and today some have argued we live in the innovation age. Specifically, with respect to organizational life, economist Jansen indicated that after the age of efficiency in the 1950s and 60s, quality in the 1970s and 80s, and flexibility in the 1980s and 90s, we now live in the age of innovation. Some data to support this observation. A McKinsey report found that more than 70% of senior executives had innovation in their top 3 drivers for growth. And in the United States, more than 86% of corporate mission statements include the words innovate or innovation. In response to these broader societal and business trends, education has witnessed its own trends. One that I've been very sensitive to is the fact that a half dozen recent national reports have all come to the same conclusion. Creative thinking is a crucial 21st century skill. In the book, 21st Century Skills, Learning for Life in Our Times, based on the P21 project, the authors have an entire category of skills referred to as learning and innovation skills, which include problem solving, creativity, and innovation. Likewise, the new Commission on Skills of the American Workforce in the book Tough Choices or Tough Times indicated, and I quote, "Creativity, innovation, and flexibility will not be the special province of an elite. It will be demanded of virtually everyone who's making a decent living, from graphic artists to assembly line workers, from insurance brokers to home builders." I can continue to cite numerous other examples, but I will stop there and ask the viewer some questions. If creative thinking is a 21st century skill, one that I would argue is necessary both for professional success, that is to employ one's imagination to cope with and drive change in one's professional life, as well as to better cope with, or dare I say, to embrace the ambiguity of change so often found in our personal lives, how confident are you that you've maximized your capacity for creative thinking so that you can reach your personal and professional potential? My second question, how well has your educational experiences nurtured your creative thinking so that you are in the best position to thrive in the 21st century? If you feel your creative mind has not been fully nurtured, what will you do about that?
For more information, please visit www.dalecarnegie.com/creative leadership to learn more.